Emmy Award-winning role on TV's Evening Shade to his blockbuster films like Smokey and the Bandit and Deliverance, our first guest today is quite the actor. Please welcome BURT Reynolds.
Hi.
How are you?
Boy, that line of clothes of yours really caught on.
The basic black with the white shell.
Amazing. You know, I was going to wear the same outfit. And it was so silly.
Have people ever mistaken you for me, Bert?
Yes.
It's nice to meet you.
It's great to meet you.
I was watching Regis today, and I hear you had dinner with him last night.
I had dinner with Regis last night, and as only could happen to Regis, when we left, the car wasn't there. And we were standing out in front, and there were a lot of people. And he kept running up and down saying, "I'm a big star, there's no car here. Where's my car?" So we got a cab, and he said, "What do you think happened?" I said, "I think probably the cab took Rosie, you know."
You are such a huge star. I remember when I was a kid watching you on The Tonight Show when you were guest hosting for Johnny, which is such an honor to begin with.
Well, I was too dumb to be scared, and it was at a time when if you scored on The Tonight Show, I mean, it was so hot in the 60s especially, the next day you had offers for everything.
Yeah.
Except me. But no one thought that because I had played nothing but Indians and cops and Italian gangsters, and you don't get a lot of jokes when you play Indians, you know.
Yeah.
Book 'em, Dano. I said that. How? So when I got on Johnny's show, it was a chance to have a laugh or two. And,
were you nervous the first time?
Oh, no, I wasn't nervous. I don't know why I wasn't nervous. Probably, again, I was just too stupid to be nervous. Because I'd come from live television. You know, back then everything was live.
Right.
And I had done all the live shows in New York. And I got a call from a director about doing a movie called Deliverance. And having been from the South and worked like hell on my accent till now I sound like a Canadian, I went back and I said to him, "What movie did you see me in that you really, were interested? Was it Navajo Joe or Operation CIA? Those were my biggies."
Yeah.
And he said, "No, I saw you on The Tonight Show, and this guy has to be in control of 4 guys, and you were in control of 4 people." And he said, "Can you do a Southern accent?" And I said, "Gee, I can try. I think I can drag it up." And John Voight came walking in, who is one of the nicest people in the world. You know John?
No, I don't know John Voight.
Yeah.
I love him. He's so great.
You say to him, "What was Hitler like?" He said, "A good house painter."
Always has something nice to say.
He can't say anything bad. He doesn't know how to do that.
That's a good quality in someone.
It's a good quality. He's so sweet. I used to do these terrible things. I would sit in his chair every day, and I knew he wouldn't say anything. And then finally, after about a month, he said, "Why do you sit in my chair?" And I said, "Because if I sit in mine, they won't see my name."
And that's the important thing.
Oh, I thought it was then.
I loved you in Gator.
Gator.
I loved Gator with Lauren Hutton. That was a good movie.
Well, that's very sweet of you to remember that. I directed that picture, and it was in...
Did you really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
It was in Savannah, Georgia, and Lauren Hutton, who is really fun.
Yes.
Loves to play practical jokes, and so one night I remember this horrible kind of peanut smell when I came in my room, and she had put 10,000 peanuts under the mattress, which doesn't leave for days. So I got those rockets, you know, the Roman candle rockets, and I shot them through her window, but it was the wrong window.
Oh, no!
And there was a lot of explaining to do.
You guys were sexy. That was sexy, that movie.
Was it sexy?
I thought it was sexy.
Thank you.
I liked it. How's your son? How's your son, Clinton?
My son is, well, you know, it's the best thing that ever happened to me in my life. My problem is that I waited so long that I'll be on a walker when he's playing high school football.
No.
I'll be in a coma when he's in college. But I've learned so much from him.
Yeah.
And if he doesn't know anything else, he knows I love him more than life.
And that's what really
I
matters.
tell him every 5 seconds.
You get to spend a lot of time with him still?
I spend as much time as I'm allowed,
That's good.
and some that I'm not allowed. He plays on Little League games, and I go there every week to see him play. And he's a very good little athlete. When he was 4 years old, I had to tell him that his mother and I were getting a divorce, and it was, you know, they got books for everything now.
Yes,
you know, there's
they
little
do.
books everywhere. You go to, how to tell your husband you're going to have an appendectomy. You know, there's
Right.
1,000 books, you know, but there was no books on how to tell your son. And I had rehearsed and thought, and we were walking on, he was 4 years old. And this is how smart he is. And I was kind of fumphering around, and nothing was coming out right. And he looked up at me and said, "Dad, the dance is over."
Wow, at 4 years old?
Yeah, and I said, I was just going to say that. Because, you know, you start out together, you like each other, and one goes this way and one goes that way, but it doesn't mean we don't still like each other and we love you. And so he, you know, there's an old saying in the South, no man is a man until his father tells you he is, you know. My father never told me, which is why I was so screwed up for most of my life. But my son told me that I was a grown-up, and that's why the first time I'm a grown-up now.
It's a beautiful thing. It really is. He's a beautiful boy. I've seen him in some photos. He's a very handsome boy.
I'm very, very lucky. He's, unfortunately, he has my personality, but he is, you know, it's so strange, you know, when you adopt a child, and I said to the sister, I said, look, it doesn't matter. It's a boy or a girl, healthy, that's all that matters.
That's what I said as well.
That's all that matters.
Yes.
But if it's a jock, I would really like it.
It's
and
helpful.
really good. I mean, just a jock. And it turns out that, I mean, it looks exactly like he's from, you know, the family.
Yes,
I mean,
the same with my son. I have an adopted son as
Yes.
well, and people say to me on a plane who don't realize he's adopted, "Wow, does he look like you?" And I always go, "Yes, he does." Sometimes I think it starts to happen. The babies pick up your mannerisms, and
They say you start to look like your dog after a while. But I don't know. I do think that kids, God bless him, Bob Urich has 2 children, and the boy looks more like Bob than Bob. I mean, it's amazing. It's incredible.
Now, you have a new film out now called Mad Dog Time.
Yes, well, it was originally called something else, and they had to change it to Mad Dog Time. I understand they were going to show a clip, but in that one clip, they used the F word 5 times.
Yes. And we didn't know what to do, so
I think
thought...
it's silly to say filibuster 5 times.
In my life. It's an honor to meet you. It really is. And thank you very much for being
It's my
here.
honor. I didn't mention yesterday on Regis's show, because he didn't ask me, but I am going with a young lady named Pam who's watching right now, and I met her, went in a gym to work out, and she was on the Stairmaster.
Yeah.
And I left to go eat lunch, came back an hour and a half later, and she was still on the Stairmaster. So I thought, this is the woman of my dreams.
And is she watching? Hello, Pam.
She's on the
How are you?
Stairmaster, yes.
Nice to meet you. Well, thank you very much for being here.
Thank you.
All right, you're a wonderful man, and it's a
Thank
pleasure
you.
to meet you.
That's very rare.
I know, I have it. It's my own. My BURT Reynolds album. Take it away, Rosie.
Okay, still ahead, singer-songwriter Mary Chapin Carpenter. Don't go away.